Привет, друзья! Hi, I'm Craig, and I'm an American who is studying Russian. I'm teaching myself Russian. Um, Now I'm going to, if you're a beginner, I'm going to tell you right now in the very beginning of this video, if you're a beginner, do not, do not, uh, do not copy the way I pronounce words. I'm an I'm an American. I'm not a native Russian. I I don't even know what my accent sounds like. And in this video especially, I'm going to intentionally pronounce words wrong. And today I'm going to be talking about stress marks and whether Russian is really a phonetic language or not. Okay, so as a learner teaching myself, I wish that I would have had stress marks on every word I read in Russian for the whole time. I think for the entire time that I'm at a beginner level, and I don't know what level I'm at, but I would say the entire time you're at a beginner level, and probably uh, for a little while you're going into the intermediate level, um, I think the stress marks are very important, and I don't think this is really thought about. So I'm going to tell you what I think about from a learner's perspective, and how I think about stress marks. I also have sentences here that where I'm going to read them, pronounce them incorrectly, and then correctly. I have a few, I don't know, 10 or 11 or so. Um, so the reason I had this idea is because, well, first of all, I wanted to start this channel because uh, I started I started finding Russian teachers on YouTube and watching their videos and commenting. I started reading comments that others leave, and I've learned some study methods from them. I've learned from them. They've learned from me. I've commented on some of the things I've done myself because I'm teaching myself. I don't have a teacher or a native Russian nearby that I can just go and say, "Hey, how do you do this? How do you pronounce this?" So in doing that, I have to come up with creative study methods and figure out ways to practice a language when I don't really have a teacher. So uh, I just started learning online, found some sites online, tried to there's a few sites online for learning Russian. You can Google them, but I recommend you stick with one site and you just go in the order and the structure of that and just refer to the other sites, just so that there's consistency. And but anyway, I don't want to take too much time talking about other stuff. Today I want to talk about the importance of stress marks as a learner. I recently learned that I have been pronouncing this word incorrectly. The word is vapros. I've been pronouncing it vopros because whenever I saw that word, I was probably reading something online or looking up. I was probably looking up on the computer Russian skazki, which is fairy tales, or just Russian literature or Russian news, Russian magazine articles, any Russian I could find. I was searching out. So this word, wherever I saw it, I had to guess its pronunciation. And it's basically for beginners, in case if there are any beginners out there that don't know the Russian alphabet yet, I'm just gonna spell this in English. The word vapros is spelled V-O-P-R-O S. V-O-P-R-O-S. And there's two O's in there. There's an O in each syllable. Now, Russian is a phonetic language mostly. It's a lot more phonetic than English because every time you read a letter, if you're reading Russian text, every time you see the same letter, it's pronounced the same way every time. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, it's true. But the major exception is the letter O, or the letter O, can be pronounced O when it's on a stressed syllable, but if it's on a non-stressed syllable, it's pronounced A. And without having a stress mark, if you have a word with more than one O in it, this word can be pronounced. Uh, it can sound very different if you don't pronounce it correctly. And the problem I have with this word, that's the problem. I just did it. So rewind this video and watch what I just did. I almost said it incorrectly, and that's actually what I was going to talk about. Is I have a hard time now that I know the word is vapros. I've been saying it wrong for so long. I've been saying vopros for so long that it's difficult for me to say it right. I stumble on that word because I read out loud when I read to practice my pronunciation, and I don't have time to look up this word and this word and this word one word at a time because I just want to be able to read through whatever I'm reading, without taking a whole lot of extra time. So basically, I just want to share with you why I think stress marks are important, and I'm just going to get into these sentences right now. I'm going to say it in an incorrect way first, and then I'm going to pronounce the sentence correctly. So the first sentence. Hold on, I need to catch my breath because I have to think about it to say it wrong first. And I'm also curious, for those of you who are native Russians, or if you are Russian teachers, let me know what you think about this. I really want to know, how extreme is the difference? How bad does it sound when I pronounce these words incorrectly compared to when I pronounce them correctly? Does it make you cringe? If I say I'm going to do another video on it, are you going to go, no, Craig, don't do that. Please don't do that. I never want to hear that again. Okay, so here's the first sentence. Let me think about it. Sevenya ona ostalas dama. But correctly, first of all, do you even know what I said? That's so now I'm going to pronounce it correctly, using the stress marks that I wrote down on here. Сегодня она осталась дома. Okay, next sentence. Incorrectly, неправильно. У меня только один вопрос. И правильно. And correctly. Correctly now. У меня только один вопрос. Now here's one. A lot of you watching, if you watch a lot of YouTube channels, if you watch a lot of Russian teachers on YouTube or listen to Russian in any way, probably be very familiar with this word. So incorrectly, I'm going to say it incorrectly first and see if you recognize it. Poka poka. Now correctly, this would be said paka paka. Okay, the next one is Bolshevseva, which actually is pronounced Bolshevsevo, and it means most of all. Yes, most of all. Okay, here's a bit of a longer sentence, so I need to take a minute. Он знает ответ на тот вопрос. Now, that was incorrect. Correctly, it's pronounced она знает ответ на тот вопрос. Did I say etot? Etat. Она знает ответ на этот вопрос. Okay, next sentence. Incorrectly, неправильно. На столе много яблок. Do you even know what I said? That one sounded, I doubt it. It sounded really funny to me just trying to say it. Okay, correctly, правильно. На столе много яблок. Which means on the table there are a lot of apples. Okay, let's see. Это яблоко вкусное. And correctly, this would be это яблоко вкусное. Okay, this one's a pretty long one, so hopefully I can say it wrong and hopefully I can say it right. Он смотрел фильм, а потом отправилась на вечеринку. Now let me try to say that correctly. Она смотрела фильм, а потом отправилась на вечеринку. Okay, next one, incorrectly, неправильно. Я иду на работу. That's я иду на работу. And that looks like, yeah, I think I'm running out of time. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I think I'm recording with my phone. I think the video is going to cut out. Anyway, let me know what you think of that. I think stress marks are very important and should be on all learning materials for beginners and even into an intermediate level for a while. Unless of course it's a test to see what you know, what you should know. But yeah, that's the difference. Let me know, how bad does that sound when I pronounce it wrong compared to when I pronounce it right? Which would you rather hear me say? Am I very hard to understand in the incorrect ways? Just let me know. Thanks, and until next time. Пока-пока.